Yo, what's going on? All my homies, homettes, dudes, and dudettes. It's your boy Will, and I'm back again. And I'm about to run through my whole list of fragrances, everything that I wore all week, last week. So, starting off. Oh, and also, this is going to be kind of a long video because I'm also going to be exploring the house of Savoir Faire. Just talking about all the fragrances at the end of it. Because this week, what I did was I wore all of Savoir Faire fragrances. So, starting off on Sunday, and I'm gonna probably go a little bit more in depth in what I smell and things like that. Texting a little bit more on each scent, more than I normally do on a weekly wears scent. So on Sunday I grabbed this one. This one is probably my favorite one. This is Soul Cafe, and this is one of the older bottles that they have. They have newer presentations than this now. Is this the old? Yeah, this is the old. Yes, this is the older one. And this one, oh man, this one has such a warm kind of date kind of vibe. It's very mysterious, like a guy sitting in the back of the club, and he would be wearing something like this. This is a great fragrance. So since I'm going through all these, all the fragrances from Savoir Faire, exempting one, but I'll talk about that one a little bit later. I'm gonna go through the notes. So with Soul Cafe, the notes are tobacco, bergamot, blood orange, black tobacco, black pepper, patchouli, private musk blend, amberwood, oud, lavender, and Arabic coffee and firewood. So what I get from it, I do get the smokiness, but it's a different kind of vibe than anything that I've smelt on the market. The closest that I can say is maybe something like like a Killian or something like that. That's the vibe that it kind of gives me, or maybe Matriot, Monarch or Matriot or something like that. It gives me that kind of vibe. So that's what I wore on Sunday, Soul Cafe. Then on Monday, I grabbed this one. And this is one of the newer ones, not new, but newer. He has 3 fragrances that are very new. And then this was with I think it was 2 or 3 other fragrances that came out shortly after the original crew. But this is Whiskey Rose. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Whiskey Rose, and this one is just that. It smells like a barrel whiskey with the rose, but the rose it's a different kind of rose. It almost feels like it's going to be jammy, but it's not really. It's almost like it's right at the edge of something where you may think, I don't like this, but it's right at the edge, but it's a really great fragrance. So the fact that you're kind of thinking, I don't think I like it, it's really intriguing. And it's a warm fragrance. It's for cold weather. But yeah, it's a great, that's what I wore on Monday. So for Whiskey Rose, the notes are Rose Absolute. Nope. Is that? Yeah, I am on the right one. Whiskey Rose. There is Rose Absolute, Grand Florum Jasmine, Leather, Organic Vanilla, Naga, Martha, I don't know what that is, Tonka Bean, Sandalwood, Moo Hoo Hoo, Choya, Laban, Bergamot, and Lavender. So obviously it's a lot of new fragrances, new scent notes that we haven't heard on a regular day-to-day basis. But man, for me, this was one of the ones that changes a little bit more than some of the other ones. This one, it starts off, like I said, with the rose and the whiskey. The whiskey is more so in the background. The rose is forefront, but it has something else in here that maybe it's the vanilla that's making the rose a little bit sweeter. But yeah, that's what I rocked out to on Monday. Monday. See, told you this video might be a little long because we just on Monday. Then on Tuesday, I grabbed this one. Which one is this one? Oh, Tuesday. That's right. This is the one I grabbed. This is a signature. And unfortunately, this is one of the ones that he doesn't make anymore. Or if he does make it, it may be under Savoir Faire, not Savoir Faire signature. And this one, oh my goodness, this one is a lot different. Let me get the notes for that, because that one was, since this one's not listed anymore, I kind of have to look up the notes. I'll be right back. So with the signature the signature fragrance, this was one of the first ones that he came out with. I think it was Signature, Soul Cafe, and Bois Noir. Those were the first three, I think, if I remember correctly. I think he's up to 10 fragrances now. But this one, the notes for this one are leather, tomato leaf, and the tomato leaf is very prominent. Tomato leaf, then woodsy notes, iris, lavender, agarwood, amber, musk, and sandalwood. And the thing about Savoir Faire, they normally don't do like top notes, middle notes, and base notes. They just have all their notes listed. So, I won't say they. He has all of his notes listed. So it's more of a conglomerate of everything put together. So I guess so you won't be able to figure out how he layered and how it makes a difference in the progression of the scent. But yeah, this one, like I said, is I don't see this on his website anymore. I don't think he even sells this one anymore, but it does have a prominent note of that tomato leaf. And the thing is, it changes so much from the beginning to the end, but I guess it's discontinued. So no need to go too deep into it because you probably won't be able to pick it up. That was on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, I grabbed this one. And this one is one of the newer ones. He just came out with these, I think, the end of last year, 2024. And it was a collection of 3. And this is one of them. This is Indicativa. And this one is probably, out of all the ones that I've smelled from his collection, there's only one that I haven't smelled. This one is probably the most challenging to wear because it has a cannabis note to it. Let me see if I can grab these notes really quick. It has a cannabis note to it, and that cannabis, it stands out, and it's challenging. It's not a smoked cannabis. It's not like something you like what you would get from a hookah or something like this. This smells like the actual root of the cannabis, not necessarily the leaf, but it smells, it's very challenging, but it's something that's definitely a conversation starter. It's something that if you had the right personality, this would be so killer. But let's go through the notes real quick. The notes on Indicativa, and from what I've heard, it's a line of cannabis that you can pick up to smoke. But the notes on Indicativa is cannabis, vetiver, vanilla, elemi, black agar, patchouli, bergamot, musk, greenwood, cedar, and sandalwood. So all I pick up really in this mainly is that the cannabis note, and that cannabis is really, like I said, it's a kind of screechy, a little screechy, but if you can rock it, it will wear out good for you. It's definitely a personality kind of fragrance. That was on Wednesday. All right, so then it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. On Thursday I grabbed this one. This is one of the newer ones that he had too, with the Indictivia. That one, this one, and one other one that I did not wear um, this week were some of the newer ones. But this one is Love Suede, and man, this one is probably one of the easiest ones to wear, in my opinion. Anyway, it depends on if you don't like suede or leather fragrances like that, then you probably wouldn't like this. But this to me reminds me of like a sister or a brother of like a Tom Ford Tuscan leather, but and it's dialed back. It's more of the laid back kind of brother. Instead of, sometimes Tuscan leather can kind of come off a little harsh. This one, whew, oh my goodness, this is a good one. Love Suede. So let's check out the notes on Love Suede. Love Suede was the top notes. Well, I won't say the top notes, all of the notes. There is leather, bergamot, botanical musk, cassis fig, nagag, Martha, that same fragrance that was in one of the other ones, Cashmerian, Ambroxan, and aquatic notes. And the crazy thing is, the aquatic notes is probably what make this so bright, because it's like it's called Love Suede, but it doesn't have suede in it. It just said leather, but it's like a fresh kind of suede, oh man, it's just so uplifting. And with that bergamot, it makes it bright. It's sometimes leather and suede fragrances can seem kind of heavy and weighed down a little bit. This is actually something that I think you probably could wear this in the summertime. I don't know if you want to wear it like if it's like 100 degrees or something like that, but if it's something like around 80, 90 degrees, you could wear this, just dial your sprays back, and then, because this is such a fresh, light kind of scent for a suede. And it's a scent that you can kind of use as a transitional for like daytime, or you can use it in the evening. Like if you're getting off work late in the evening and you're going to to happy hour or whatever, meet some boys or your girl or whatever at dinner, this easy can work for that, for especially in the summertime when it's cooler in the evening. Great. That's what I wore on Thursday. Love Suede. That's one of my favorite. Then on Friday, I grabbed this one. This is another one of the ones that was one of the newer ones. Love Suede was one in the second group of fragrances they put out. But this one was in the last group of last three fragrances he put out. And this one is Figasm. Now this one, if you like fig, this is a different take on fig completely from anything that I've smelled before, because this smells more like, instead of like the fig fruit, this smells more like the fig leaf. And I'm not sure what the notes are, but it's a little vegetal and almost kind of like, it smells like leaves, and but it has a little sweetness to it in the background. This one is kind of, it's not exactly, but it's a little bit reminiscent of Signature from Savoir Faire. But let's check out the notes on this one. This one is Figasm. So this one has fig, obviously, Japanese cedar, frankincense, ambroxan, blackcurrant, papyrus, jasmine, pear musk, vanilla, and ginger. Man, this one's a good one. This one's a good one. It's just not what you would expect if you're looking for just a fig fragrance. This is definitely something different than fig. It has that sweetness and that freshness to it, but it has that very green, leafy kind of vibe to it. So That's what I rock to on Friday. On Saturday, this video going to be kind of long. On Saturday, I actually did a ride along with this fragrance, and this one came out with the second group, if I remember correctly, and this one is Ascension. This is a very, very classy and classic kind of vibe scent. This one is more of a transcending. Oh man, this one and one of the other ones that I'll talk about after I finish this are two that almost are a little bit spiritual. They feel almost like you'll be going through some type of spiritual situation, like going to church or something like that. It almost feels like that, but man, this smells so good, so good. Like I said, I did ride along with it. Go check out the ride along. I talked a little bit more about it, and it was a long lasting fragrance. So for Ascension, the notes are, I'll show that to you again. Let's see if that comes in. So the notes are blue lotus, papyrus, fresh earth. That's the one of those notes that I really, really enjoyed. Sandalwood, fig, Haitian vetiver, black pepper, bergamot, white sage, jasmine cedar, and pear musk. Pear musk was in one of the other ones too. Man, but it smells good. And the thing that I really like about his house, the owner of Savoir Faire is a guy. He's from down in Atlanta, I think, if not somewhere in Georgia. It's a black-owned business, and the thing that I do like about the whole Savoir Faire line is none of them smell alike. So you know how sometimes you'll have fragrances that kind of overlap and overlayer, like for example, like Montal. You pick one Montal fragrance, it might be 15, 20 other fragrances that smell similar to it. None of his fragrances smell like the other fragrance. So you can easily have the whole collection. And I know because I have the whole collection. I have all of his fragrances except for one. The one that I don't have is it may be the newest one, and that's Secret 47. I haven't picked that one up yet, but I am planning on picking up as soon as I can. It just goes out of stock a lot. So that is it for my weekly wares. That's all I have for you. Thanks for hanging out with me. But like I said, this is still going to be a introduction to the house. Well, maybe not introduction, but just talk about the whole house. So I'm gonna grab the other fragrances from the house, and I'm gonna come back and chop it up with you. So if you just want to see the weekly wear, we're all done with that. Be back in a minute for the rest of the house wear. All right, so I'm back in, and we're going to talk about the rest of the house. So starting off, the house it came out, I think they initially started dropping fragrances like around 2017, somewhere in there. But when it first came out, if you got a sample or if you got something from the house, it would be in this black lettering like this. And the fragrances initially look like this. They would have this type of labeling. Hold on a second. They would have this type of labeling with the crown and the name written on the bottom. And this one is one of the old Soul Cafe fragrances. So it used to come like this, and then once he switched over it, and that was the first three that came out were Signature, Soul Cafe, and Bois Noir. And then he came out with another section of fragrances, not that one, this one. And boxes changed just a little bit, and this gold writing on it. And then with that group, he came out with, I think it was Ascension, Sin Santo, and Sage, and Whiskey Rose. I think that was the one that it came out with. But since we're here with Sin Santo and Sage, I said that there was another one. There was another fragrance like Ascension that kind of gives you kind of a spiritual vibe. Sin Santo and Sage is one of those ones. This one actually smells like you're going to a something spiritual, something like this smells like something that you can use when you're meditating, or if you're in deep prayer or something like that. And while we're here, the notes for this one, this one is really, really good, and it has that Palo Santo in it. I think that's what really gets it for me. And there's something else that's kind of spicy, but the notes for it is Wild Harvest Palo Santo, top note, clary sage, oud, ambroxan, bergamot, Japanese cedar, tobacco, grapefruit, musk, cardamom, Cashmerian, and heliotrope. So this is a different kind of fragrance. This is definitely, for me, it's not something that I will wear every day, but this is something that I will wear when I'm trying to get focused and I want to get my mind set to do something. So that is one of the other ones that he had, Sin Santo and Sage. Let's see, make sure I get that name in there. Sin Santo and Sage. All right. So the other fragrance that he came out with the last three were Figasm, the Indictivia, and this one here. And this one is Hella Floral. This one is probably one of the ones that probably leans the most feminine, but it doesn't. It's definitely, all of his fragrances, I think, are straight down the line unisex, except for maybe Soul Cafe. Soul Cafe may be a little bit more masculine, but I could see a female wearing it. That's definitely a female that's confident in herself and feels like she can, like a boss lady. I definitely could see a female wearing it. But for the notes for Hella Floral, there is yuzu, iris, frankincense, rose, black pepper, amberwood, tuberose, myrrh, papyrus, bakur, jasmine, coffee, hinuku, musk, and ambroxan. Again, he picks out some fragrance notes that are not your average fragrance notes that you smell in any other fragrances. These are something different. So all of his fragrances smell unique to me. The only one that smells a little bit similar to something is this next one. Where is it? Here it is, right here. This is one of the first ones that he came out with, and this is Beau Noir. And it doesn't smell exactly like it, but it smells a little bit similar to Montal's Honey Oud and Rihanna Amber Honey. It smells similar to those. It's not exactly the same thing but this is the only one that's kind of close to any other fragrances. But yeah, it is, and it's a sweet kind of kind of amber. While we're here, might as well pull up the notes. Beau Noir. There is Beau Noir. There is amber patchouli, canaflower, oud, ceylon cinnamon bark, cedarwood, eucalyptus, bakor, and musk. I'm impressed with the different kind of fragrance notes that he picks out, because they are just different from anything else that you're going to find on the market. So a lot of times I would pick any one of his fragrances and they're going to be unique. It's not going to be like, 10 other guys in the mall that smell like you, or 10 other guys at the club, or, at a bar that has the same scent that you. No one is going to smell like you unless they're in, like they already know. So again, this is the old presentation, the one with the crown, with the labeling. So old presentation. They now have this one as the presentation, where it's just the label and the name written on it, and then the little scanning code there. And I think that is it. Let's see. I think that is all of the fragrances. Yes. Oh, and also, just to run back, the fragrance that I do not have, that he has put out, is Secret 47. That one's a great one too, from what I hear. And from what I hear, that one's kind of rivaling Soul Cafe. Soul Cafe is usually most people's favorite, but that's what it is. Grain of salt. It depends on what you're into. All right, I know it's been a long video, but I've been saying I wanted to talk about the House of Savoir Faire for a while, and I'm talking about it. So thanks for hanging out with me. I know it's long. I appreciate your time. I know you could be anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me talking about this House of Savoir Faire and my weekly wear. Until next time, it's your boy Will. Deuces.